is From the Big House to the Penthouse podcast. Stories of addiction and recovery. The lie is dead. We do recover.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of From the Big House to the Penthouse, stories of addiction and recovery.
I was gonna say good morning. I don't know what the hell I've been. You got me talking about this Charlie Mike coffee, man. Check it out. Hey, is it in any stores?
It's
how
on
do you say it?
It's on the Charlie Mike the website.
The website.
Charlie
All
Mike
right, man. We
Military
have to
Apparel.
talk about this coffee. Jen got really, and well, I didn't want to say her name right away, man, because she's a surprise guest. I don't think we but she was like, "Hey, man, brew some now." The Charlie Mike coffee, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited, dude. You're just like, I came, sat down, and you're like, "Hey, check this out," and then you've got your. You know you made it, man. Whenever you've got your own coffee, Moreno's coffee, check it out. Can you see it? We'll put it on the thing, and then we'll show it later. I'm gonna check it out in the morning, man.
Good. Let me know.
I'm gonna check it out in the morning, and then we'll see if that picks up these. What do you call it?
Pep in your step.
Pep in my step. But what's up, man? What'd you do this weekend,
Man,
bro?
well, let me introduce you. As always, our host is Ricky Cruz.
And my co-host, Raul Moreno, and he's got his own coffee, by the way, man. That's all right.
Yeah.
Raul Moreno. Yeah.
What you been doing, man? We haven't had a show in a couple of weeks.
We haven't? I know, man. I miss you, bro.
You're a busy man.
Yeah. It's just running a business and running a family, and playing with Godzilla's guitar. You know what I mean? Go Godzilla. I'm gonna go watch a Chinese movie this weekend with Godzilla. Yeah. Robert wants to watch it, so I pulled out my Godzilla movie.
That's what's
Godzilla
up.
shirt. Yeah. But yeah, what did I do this weekend? Actually, you know what I did, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my. Do you call him a preacher or a pastor? I don't know. Howard Agnew. Howard Agnew, a good friend of mine. And I think he watches our podcast.
Does he?
Yeah, he's talked about it. He's the pastor at New Hope Church in Alvin.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I went out there to. I joined this group.
Okay.
On Tuesday evening. So I did that last night. I went up to crying with all my problems. You know what I mean? Yeah. And went up there talking about all my problems and heard theirs. And it's good to hear that I'm not the only one with problems. Everybody's got life, problems and things and families and kids and mothers and fathers and all that kind of stuff. So, but I guess was it this weekend? I think it was this past Saturday. I did a car show with Howard.
Okay.
That was really cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. He come to find out that he is, and I think I already knew this a little bit about him. And I'm talking a little bit about Howard because we're becoming chums, man. We're becoming intimate kind of friends. And anyway, we did this car show. We walked around the whole car show place, and we were looking for this. We call this car a Phantom because we couldn't find it. It ended up being, they registered a 60. I think it was a 6. They had it under a 68 Impala. It was a 58 Impala.
Oh, okay.
That's all we couldn't find. So that's what I did Saturday.
Nice.
And then I'm going to tell you one more thing. Sunday, what I did, I felt guilty. Dude, I woke up. Lisa and I woke up, at our apartment in downtown. We woke up at 4:30 in the morning, and we started to watch the ending of Ozark.
Yeah,
dude, great show.
I haven't seen any of
man,
that.
I'm not gonna tell you nothing about it because it's a great show. And we actually 5 hours. We said I felt like I was doing drugs, man. I was doing something wrong. I had to talk to my sponsor about it, but that's what I did. What'd you do?
Man, I don't remember, to be honest with you.
That's kind of good, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I did anything. Well, I hung out with my girls, my daughters, and that's pretty much it.
You're doing that Hot Works, man.
Oh,
right?
I have been doing that.
Did you do it on the weekends too?
Yeah, I do it. I try to go every day, man.
Dude, you're going every day.
I try to, at least.
You're doing good.
Yeah, man. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I was pushing a little bit over 200. I'm at 184 now.
Damn, dude,
Yeah,
that's
man.
good,
So
man. I bet you feel good.
Yeah,
huh?
I do feel good.
All right. So look, man, without delay, and we're over here talking over Jen. Our dear friend Jen, man, she decided to she finally accepted our invitation after months and months of calling her, and she's like, I think she's actually more important, not important. She's more busier than me, if I said that right. She was like, hey, no, dude, listen, I have to check my schedule, and I have to blah 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 blah, and I'll let you know. But we finally, we isolate. We cornered her. We're like, look, dude, we need you here, man. And she's like, all right, man. Let me, I'll talk to. She talked to her assistant, and she penciled us in.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
so Jen, without delay, we got applause on the thing. This is Jen, man. Gonzales. You go by Gonzales?
Yes.
All right, Jen. We have any applause, Mr. Engineer?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Yes, man. She finally accepted her invitation. She's here. Jen, introduce yourself, man. First of all, do you go by Jen, Jennifer, or what do you go by?
I go by Jen.
Jen.
Jen
I like
Gonzales.
that too.
It's easier.
All right.
so-
It is. Well, it's 3 letters.
Yeah.
It is a lot easier. So, Jen, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself to our audience and tell us. Let's just start slow, right? Let's start let's start slow.
Okay. I'm Jen Gonzales. I'm here because we're going to be discussing addiction and recovery tonight.
Mhm.
So I have 21 months clean as of Monday. So yes. Right. And then I got 2 amazing sons who are watching too. Preston
All right.
and Dave. Been married for about 26 years.
You're married.
We've been separated for 5
Okay.
because of my addiction.
Okay.
But
So you were married. You've been married for how many years?
26.
26 years. Now, I'm going to interrupt real quick, like I always do. And Raul already told me
That's
about it. So
okay.
quit interrupting. But looking at Jen, she's not. You don't look like an addict. I see. This is the thing about. Well, you
Thank
don't.
you.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of folks have this thought, and from what I understand, that an addict is when you think somebody says addict, a drug addict, or a recovering drug addict, even a recovering drug addict, is when you go by Houston, you see those homeless people on the God bless them, man, that they're whatever it is that they're going through it. So that's what before I became a drug addict and then a recovering drug addict. That was my vision. That's what I thought. Right. I didn't know there was doctors and lawyers and mechanics and army people and ex-military.
Right.
And
Addiction
so on and so
does
forth.
not discriminate.
Right. So I mean, look at you, Jen. I mean, you look normal.
Thank you.
So. Keep going. I'm sorry that I just wanted to set the tone for that.
But I think one of the main reasons I wanted to come on now is I just completed drug court last week. So after being in the program 26 months, that was a huge deal for me.
All right.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations. Yes.
So I don't know. I just felt like it was a good thing to do to keep moving forward in my recovery.
So let me ask you this. What happens if you don't see Raul also graduated from there several months ago too. So I didn't put him on the hot spot on this one, but let me put you on there for a second. What happens if you don't what would keep you from graduating?
Basically, I mean, you could be in drug court for 18 months. You could be in drug court for 4 to 5 years. There are several people who have been in a program for 4 to 5 years, and it's all about you.
But what keeps you there that longer than the 6 months or 18 months that you talked about?
Well, I mean, you have a lot of requirements you have to meet, and if you keep choosing to fuck up, they keep you in phase 1. And there's 3 different phases you go through before you graduate. So phase 1 is really hard. It's like 6 months long. They throw all these requirements at you.
Like what?
Oh my gosh.
For instance.
Okay, like my first phase for 6 months straight, I had to be in Angleton just like every day. And living in Pearland, that's
Wait a minute.
tough.
Every day you had to
we
be
had an IOP. You have to go to drug court every Thursday, and you have to meet with your PO every week. So literally, me and my best friend Chelsea, what's up, girl? We were literally going to Angleton like 5 days a week.
We're carpooling.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have a car, so really.
You really depended. She came through for you.
Yep, met her in rehab, and we got out, and we just
Chelsea.
Yep, Chelsea. So
okay,
yeah, she's my best friend.
Her
really? That's awesome, man.
Yes.
That's all right. That's her, Chelsea's. Can we say? Well, we'll just keep it at Chelsea, right?
Yes, keep it at
your best friend. Yeah, we won't say her last name.
Oh, my husband. Yes, love you too.
But so awesome, man. That's good. So okay, so drug court. And so if you it starts off as a 15 or 18 month program, but it could go longer if you don't complete.
Yeah,
if you get stopped on the road, you get stopped and it just stays that much longer.
I think they tell you 12 to 18 months to get you in there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, so you have a choice. So is this a program that you have a choice to go, or you don't you could choose to
absolutely
go to
have
a picnic
choice.
instead?
But most of of the time, if you're put in drug court, you're at a position where it's prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those type of choices.
It's like,
It wasn't like, okay, here's this thing, man. If you want to go, fine. If you don't, right?
Right.
You get to go home. No, you don't get to go home.
Like for me, my alternative was going to prison. So
Okay.
I got in a lot of trouble in 2019, and we can talk about that later because that was really the downfall of my addiction.
So lead us. Okay, drug court, you were there, and Raul can relate to that. Raul, is that everything that she's saying? Is it everything? Does it spark anything in you because you did that too, right?
Yeah,
Tell us about
that. I did veterans court.
Is that different?
It sounds like it's a lot similar. There's phases, and then you have to go to classes like all the time. You have to be in there. You have to meet with the judge every Tuesday. You have to have
Judge Sebesta.
No, well, that's who she was.
You were Judge Sebesta.
Mine was the veteran court judge was Judge Holder.
The judge, the one that we kicked it off really good the first time I met her, right?
Yeah.
I heard all kinds of bad things about you. I was just kidding, man. I was like, oh my God. Let me graduate first, dog. You know what I mean? But so Jen, okay, let's go back. You on your little bio you sent us, I read that, if you don't mind, that you had an accident when you were a little kid.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us from the beginning. Tell us from the beginning, and tell us about that if you want to share that with us, with our audience, and tell us what how you came, how that came, if that affected your life, if blah blah blah, and how so on and so forth, and how you started to seeing the alcohol, the drugs, and so on and so forth.
So basically, when I first got clean and I would tell my story, my normal story would start off, I had a fairly normal childhood, blah, 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 then would go straight into high school and into my addiction. But after working step 4, I realized a lot about myself. And what I realized is that fear and insecurity started really young for me. And at 4 years old, I was burned. I fell in hot grease. I almost died. And yeah, it was horrible. So at 4 years old, it was very tragic, but I developed insecurities and fears at a very young age of just like having this need for acceptance, feeling like I always wanted to fit in, fear of being judged. I knew I had scars on my body. I knew I didn't look like all my friends who would wear
so they were visible. Your scars were visible,
right? I have scars on my stomach. I have scars on my back. And, because of that, I just always felt like I was different. I always felt like this need for acceptance. I always wanted to fit in, and I was afraid of being judged. And that started very early on for me in life. So when I look back to the things I did, even in high school, it was just like a cry for attention, like just wanting to fit in really bad. So that pattern sort of repeated itself throughout my life. And it definitely played a part when my addiction manifested itself, and trying the different drugs and hanging around with the wrong people. So yeah, it was pretty tragic, but that's basically what started a lot of my problems. 14, I did my first drug. I did acid at 14. And again,
so you didn't do something like before that?
No,
you just went straight to the acid, huh? You just went straight. You just jumped in, right? No drinking, no pot. You just went to the good stuff.
Yeah, I just said, forget it. We're going hardcore.
You just went straight to the acid.
I didn't even start really drinking or smoking weed or
really
anything like that till I was like 16. So.
That's surprising to me. I don't hear that very often. So you're just like, no, that's okay. I mean, hey, well, we want to hear that. I mean, thank you for being honest with us. It wasn't that, like, to me, my parents would have parties, right? And they'd have friends over, and we'd go over there. And you probably hear this in movies and stuff, but this was literally true for us. My dad, they'd have the beer, and I'd sit on the corner acting like I'm just not doing nothing. I'm like, and then I'd put it down, you know what I mean? Or go get them a beer, and their friends would give me a couple of quarters or whatever, and I'd pop it for them, and like, and I'd give it to them, and I'd pretend that. But that's how nothing like that for you, no. You just wait. So lead us to that. How you found out about the LSD, because that's what it is, right?
It was just like, I don't know if
a friend
it was
of
an
yours
age
took
thing
it,
or just my era, but acid was just like the cool thing to do.
So that's what I'm saying. Was it at a party? How did you know? How did you hear about it? How did you decide to take it? And then somebody go, look, dude, you're gonna be fine. Just be cool, right? Because that's what they say, right?
Yeah, I did it with my best friend. She was the only one I would do it with, the only person I trusted being around. So we did it a few times and played around with it. I should have known then.
Did you like it?
I had addiction tendencies because I loved it.
You did.
Even at that young of an age, when I look back, like I love anything that changes the way I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was acid at 14, whether it was when I started drinking or smoking a little weed at 16, you know, I did a little coke, really got into ecstasy at 18, but throughout my time periods, like any drug or substance that changes the way I feel, I love. I mean, I'm an addict. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you know you were an addict, that you had that problem? If it was a problem?
No. In fact, no. I mean, you know, I was pretty sporadic about my drug use. And even in my 20s, like me and my husband, we would go clubbing, we would do some ecstasy, maybe some cocaine here and there. But really, I didn't have like my first addiction didn't really manifest itself till I was like 27.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in Vicodin.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty short. I was on it maybe a year, took Suboxone, got off, got clean. But when I was 30 is when I was messing around with some coke. My dealer didn't have any, and the next best thing he had was crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And at 30 years old and getting involved with crystal, that's when my addiction really manifested itself. But even at that time, I had no clue I was an addict.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was on and off crystal for 12 years.
Oh, shit.
I mean, you know,
From what age?
From 30 till about 42, and then that was 2019, and that's when I started getting into some other stuff that got me in a lot of trouble. But no, throughout that whole time, I had no clue I was an addict.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know like about addiction. I certainly didn't know recovery. I didn't even know that was out there.
So you said, now let me, because I'm going to go back to some of the stuff you said. I think you said around 16 or 17 that you felt like your addiction was which was
no, I said I had addiction tendencies.
So you don't think that you at that time you didn't feel anything like something was wrong. You didn't think that was like,
no, it's so weird. Like I didn't even grasp onto the fact that maybe something's wrong with me. I like this too much.
Would it be safe to assume that maybe because at one time when I was addicted, I got addicted one time to crack cocaine. I was around 21, 22. I mean, and then at that time I didn't have nothing to lose. Yeah. I mean, I had nothing to lose, so it didn't really matter. I mean, I was crashing at friends, apartments. We were smoking and all kinds of crazy shit. I had nothing to lose. I was, blah, blah, blah. Now, when I got addicted again to it, I was, 37, 38, somewhere around there, 39, but I had a lot to lose. So that's when I was like, oh shit, and really when I lost everything, this was when my downfall really, I say it mattered because it's when I felt it, I had children already. I had my job, I had my shop, blah, blah, blah. But all my life, and this is what I keep asking, I can ask everyone, me all along, when I was a young guy at my late teens, early 20s, when I just drinking, I would drink too much. I would get into fist fights. I would lose some, I would win some, but nevertheless, I would wake up the next morning with bumps on my head and I wouldn't remember with just alcohol. Right. Yeah. And I was like, I would always tell myself, why can't I drink like everybody else? Right. Why do I always drink? I just drink too. I did. Yeah. I did know, but I didn't know. I knew something was wrong and I knew I wasn't like everybody else. I just didn't know what until now. You know what I mean? Right. So, right.
I know that I didn't even realize I was an addict until after 2019 when I had a really bad year and I got in trouble, legal trouble. And despite all the legal trouble I was in, I was still choosing to use. Mm-hmm. I mean, I violated my probation, went to jail for almost 3 months, got out. They put me in drug court. And I'll be damned if within a few months of being clean, I relapsed that summer. And I relapsed knowing that I'm in drug court. If I get caught,
so
I
wait
can
a
go to
minute.
prison. So even then, as an addict, like I was still choosing to use drugs, knowing the implications, knowing that I could go to prison.
You went to drug. Hold on a second. If you don't, I'm gonna rewind you a little bit. You got put in drug. You went to drug court. Mm-hmm. Not this time. A previous time.
No.
So this isn't your first time around in drug court.
This is my first time around in drug court. What happened was I got put in it in March of 2020. My mom passed away. Yeah. Okay. 2019 was just a bad year. I got in trouble. Oh my God. Every time I turn around, I was in jail 2019. But they finally put me in drug court in 2020, and my mom died after I was in it a month.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a really tough time. So shortly after that, I started hanging around old friends again. And by summertime of 2020, I was already back in relapse mode. So it took them a few months to catch me, to finally fail that UA. But let me tell you, the drug court team, the judge, they're not stupid.
No, not at all.
They know the signs were there. In fact, it's almost like they just sat back and watched me and waited. And when I failed my UA in August, it was kind of like the judge was like, you failed your UA. I'm sending you to jail. Then you're going to rehab. Almost like he was just waiting to tell me that, but they knew clearly the signs were there. So.
Right. Okay. So, and then what happened?
Well, when I got in trouble in
so
August,
tell us, how did you relapse? Can you tell how
Yeah,
did it?
I
Well,
can
you
tell
were in
you.
drug court, and you're in drug court.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, man, because we all say this, my life is gonna be badass from now on, man. I'm gonna do all this shit. I'm done with drugs. I'm done with you. And it's gonna be fabulous. And then we start going to meetings. I'm assuming you started going to meetings. You met some of the people probably in the program.
Yeah,
Maybe not. I don't know.
When I went into drug court, COVID just started.
That's right.
That's
the early
meetings.
2020.
Right. There wasn't even drug court in person. So we didn't see our PO in person. So
that must have
there
been
was
tough.
a lot of isolation. And to be honest, when I got in drug court, I didn't know the first thing about recovery.
Really?
I was totally clueless about what all I knew was trying to get sober.
You started tough.
Yeah.
It was tough for you, man.
When I got
in stuff in 2020.
And then when, like COVID was going on, a month after that, my mom died. And hi,
look,
Judge.
there's Pat Semester. All
Love
right,
you,
Judge, for joining
Judge.
us. Thank you for joining us.
You
I
rock
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Yeah.
But after my mom passed away, what happened was I wasn't willing to take the suggestions or do the requirements drug court wanted, and it wasn't 100%.
So was it on your terms?
It wasn't 100% me. COVID was going on.
Right.
There was no in-person meetings, and I don't do well with Zoom meetings. I like them in person. We weren't going to drug court every week. I mean, really, there was a lot of isolation.
Okay.
But after my mom died, I still didn't have any friends in recovery yet. I mean, I was like white knuckling it, trying to stay clean, trying to do it without a program. And like I tell anybody who wants to stay clean or sober, you have to have a program. Well, shortly after that, I started hanging out with old friends again, and I started lying to family. I would tell them I'm going to meetings. Sorry, guys. I would tell them I'm going to meetings, and I would go pick up my friend and give him a ride to get drugs. I would tell drug
Were
court
you
and
doing
everybody.
drugs, though?
No.
You were going to stay clean through it.
I was actually in a mental relapse, and we talk about this frequently in recovery, but I was in a mental.
What does that mean?
I'll explain. Mental relapse.
Yeah.
I was in a mental relapse for 4 to 6 weeks before I even picked up and used again and went into relapse that summer.
So in other words, you were fantasizing about using.
Not yet. I wasn't even there.
So what does a mental relapse
when
mean?
you're in a mental relapse,
This is the first time I've heard this.
basically you're still lying. I started lying. I started missing. How do you miss a Zoom PO visit? My God. I mean, the excuses were there.
What do you mean, how you miss
clearly,
it? You just don't click the button.
I lied. I lied.
And you're supposed to be on lockdown.
Yeah,
You missed a PO
exactly.
meeting.
Exactly. I've started missing call-ins for UAs. I started lying to family. I was sleeping all the time. My old behaviors were completely set in, even though I wasn't using it.
Right.
So when you're stuck in those old behaviors, lying, the excuses, the secrets, God knows I was full of secrets, hanging out with my old friends who I wasn't supposed to be hanging around, lying to family and lying to everybody and sneaking off with them. But even though I wasn't using, I was in a mental relapse.
I'm going to tell you
it was
that
just a matter of time before I finally
I
gave
get
in
it.
and
Yeah.
used.
Now I understand what you're saying. That mental relapse, you were just setting yourself up for
Setting myself up. I wasn't trying to
it was
live-
coming. It
Yep.
was coming. It was inevitable.
Well, being in recovery, you have
absolutely.
to be honest. We discussed this Monday in
Right.
our meeting. I probably shouldn't say this, but we
No,
talked
absolutely.
in
You can
depth.
say what you want here, man. We're not. This isn't an NA meeting. You can say whatever you want.
Well, yeah, and you brought up
Just don't say anything about me.
Sorry.
I don't think
Somebody in the meeting.
I don't care.
Somebody in the meeting brought up living by the principles that we live by, and each step 1 through 12 has its own principle. Honesty, faith, hope, open-mindedness, willingness, and they all have principles. Well, in recovery, we aim to live by those principles.
Right.
We try to be honest every day. We try to be open-minded and willing and you know, in a mental relapse, you're not in any of those things.
Right.
So,
You know, now
and the judge will even say there's only two paths. You're either down this
were you
path.
ever mad at Pastor Best? And he's listening. Were you ever mad at him for throwing you in jail? And be honest. Don't cuss at him or nothing, but be honest, because I share some stuff about how I felt about him. And he knows we're cool now, I think, right? I mean, all the bad things
it's hard to
be honest.
Mad.
Hey, well, let's start being honest now.
I wasn't mad. Okay.
Put it on the hot spot.
I was mad at myself. It was almost a relief because that whole summer when I was in relapse, lying to my family, lying to the drug court team, lying to everybody, I was miserable. Like I would get high and get clean so I could try to pass a drug test. And I was just like this emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
I was on lying to everybody. Like
it's exhausting.
So tired.
Right.
That was probably the hardest time throughout any of my addictions.
So did you rest when you went to jail? Did you rest?
Well,
did you feel relieved when you were there? I mean,
I
of
felt
course,
relieved when I walked in and he told me, of course I was crying because I was scared. I didn't want to go to rehab. And then he said long term. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to jail and rehab again. I remember just so upset, but I knew what I was walking into and I had a feeling that's what was going to happen. He actually took me in the side room before they took me away to jail and to get me ready for rehab. And he sat me down. The judge looked at me and he was like, Jennifer, he's like,
you're going to be here a long time.
He's like, you're 43. He was like, you're 43 years old and you need to get your shit together.
You need to get together, girl.
Man, for a judge to sit down and tell you, you need to get your shit together. I was like, damn.
Yeah, this is real.
Yeah, it was real. So it was at that time where I knew it was time to give up my ways. Like the first 5 months.
Did you really know it at that time, Jennifer? Come on.
That my ways, I had to do something different.
No. But at that time, did you think at that time?
I actually went into rehab and I gave it 100%. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this life I've been living because.
When you say 100%, what does that mean in your terms?
I went in and I did the work.
I know you. I'm seeing it.
I went to group therapy. I went to my counseling sessions. I was completely honest about my addiction, the drugs I did, my past. I had to stop and take a look at myself in rehab. It was hard. I mean, it was finally that mask came off that I had been wearing for so many years, trying to just be somebody I wasn't, so I had to take that mask off and look at myself in the mirror and look at all the pain I had caused the people I loved and look at all the years I've wasted, the money I spent and the trouble I'm in at 43 years old, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Who does that? It's like get in trouble when you're young, learn your lesson and move on. But no, I saved it for my mid 40s.
I did too.
Yeah. And it hit me hard. It really hit me hard. I knew like I had to do some digging. I had to figure out what is wrong with me. Why am I still using? And I OD'd twice that summer. Why am I still choosing to use after almost dying? After being threatened to go to prison, after hurting my family, friends, my husband, I had hurt everybody. And it was time for me to slow down. I remember the judge.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. I remember the judge
Get
saying,
your shit together.
You go in there and you forget about the outside world and you focus 100% on you.
Right.
And that's what I did for 90
Are you talking
days.
about when jail or rehab?
No, when he sent me to rehab.
Yeah.
He was like, you forget about everything. You go in there and you take this time to work on you.
Yeah.
And I did. And that's when I learned what addiction was.
So why was he so mean to me? Why was he nice to you?
Man, trust me.
To me, man, it's like, you know what? You come in here one more goddamn time. You're, like that. Man, I was like this. I was like, but judge.
No, the thing with the judge is there's no sugarcoating.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, he don't speak BS. And if you try to put one over on him, he's gonna.
Here's the thing, Jen, man, they care, man. They really genuinely care. I mean, amazing. Pat Sebesta, Lori Ricker, there's countless Holiday. What was your judge? What was her name?
Judge Holder,
man. They care. You know what I mean? I see them. They're they do care. Whenever when I went to court, I was like, this sorry son of a blah blah blah, and this, that, and the third, man. I was like, you know what, man, when I get out, I'm gonna go egg his house and blah blah blah. I didn't say that, but they genuinely do got well. I was going to, but I never did. In fact,
the drug court team is amazing. They genuinely care.
Dude, they care.
And
they
it took
care.
me months to accept that.
Yeah.
I got into the program thing and holy shit, they're putting all these requirements on me. They want me to fail.
Yeah.
I was still very much the addict. I was still very much the victim. Oh, they're out to get me.
Yeah.
Everybody was out to get Jen. It was everybody else's fault. So
you know, one thing about being on probation, and I say this high and I say it low, man. I was screaming on top of a mountain that being on probation was what saved my life. Going to jail and being on probation, it kept me from doing all kinds of stupid shit. I mean, it kept me from getting. I went to I was at a meeting one night, and a lot of the people that I like Rachel and Ronnie and all these people and Andre that were in my group when I first walked in. There was a guy that I had issues with, and we were gonna throw fists, man. And I was still on probation, and I was like, you know what, man? And I wanted a piece of him, and I think he wanted a piece of me too. But you know, thank God that we didn't. You know, we didn't. You know, I turned the other cheek, as they say, and I felt like a coward. But I'm gonna tell you something. Being on probation and knowing that I didn't want to go back to jail, because Pat Sebesta told me, he says, man, you come in here one more again, you know, like Eddie Murphy in that movie, one more again, Clyde, one more again. He says, and that's it, man, I'm done with you, you know, and so, man, I was walking there straight and narrow, man. And so when I turned away from that, man, again, being on probation to me, man, it saved my life. It kept me straight. I'm going to tell you something else. Walking into probation, I had one of my second or third probation officer was Ferguson. I'm going to say his name because I don't like him very much. No, I like him very well. He's a cool dude. But I remember going in there, man, and sometimes I would forget to bring some paperwork, or I'll forget to do something, or blah, blah, blah. And I remember he was hard on me. I was like, man, why is he being an asshole to me, man? I'm trying to be cool. I think I brought him an apple one time. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to bring him no apple. But as I got cleaner and as time went by, I was like, you know what? We need that.
Yeah,
we need that because we're full of shit. You know, when we come in, we're trying to bullshit. We think that we're sitting with our friends bullshit. And like when we sit in jail, man, I'm talking about, you know, I did this and I'm all this and that and a buttercup out in the world, right? I wasn't about shit. But when you come bring these games to your probation, they've heard it. Yeah. They've seen it, these lies, the bullshit. And so when they're hard on you, you think they're an asshole, but they're not, man.
No, exactly.
Now that you think about it. And when I see other people that go in and they talk about how they're probation officers, I won't talk about this guy that I know that he just got off probation, Ernesto. I'm not going to say his name. But he was talking about, you know what I'm talking about, fat boy. But
he's in the comments.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he there?
I love your
Where's Gordo at?
Man, he's
probably over there eating a hamburger.
He said that he's proud. You should share that recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
man.
proud.
Oh, I love him. Yes, I love him to death.
But so I remember him sharing one time, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Oh man," I said, "Dude, that's just. Hey, they know all the bullshit that we come up with, man, and we need that to keep us straight. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, you do this one more time, man, and you know we're just gonna get you I'm gonna get you a court date with the judge. Let him decide what's going on. You know what I mean?
And what's crazy about drug court is you're in drug court every Thursday. So if you mess up,
they're
waiting.
Right,
they're waiting on you to walk in, and man, the judge will not hesitate to tell you.
So
you
that's different. That's how different
you got 3 days jail time. He loves to give you 3 days jail time.
So drug court is really intense.
Yeah, and
it's really like they're on your. They're keeping an eye on you.
It's not just like probation. It's a recovery program. I mean, they also have requirements such as you have to have a sponsor, and you have to be working steps. I mean, you have to go your first phase. They expect you to go to 5 meetings a week. I think first and second phase. You know, they loosen up a little bit on you in phase 3, but they put all these requirements in place for you. But really, they're just trying to set you up for life afterwards.
That's good, man.
Because recovery and programs, they're what save us. So I would have never known how to do any of this. And now that I'm out of drug court, it's just what I do. I mean, I spend every Saturday with my sponsor. I love her to death. We go to women's meeting, we go eat, we do step work. So I see her every single Saturday. I mean, I go to probably 3 to 5 meetings a week on my own. It's like, that's just what I do for my recovery.
It becomes a way of life, you know. And I heard this bullshit in the beginning. I heard this bullshit in the beginning of my program. It was like, this becomes a way of life and blah blah blah. We seem to be liking this thing, blah 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 thing. But I just like saying that. But this becomes a way of life, and it becomes a da da da. But you know what? I've been on I have been off probation. I think I'm going on 3 years, and I just recently, the last couple of weeks, if you've seen me, you know, I've yeah, thank you, man. Hey, you know, I gotta stay. I have to stay vigilant, man. I have to stay connected. You know, I sometimes I think to myself, I got this shit. You know what I mean? I'm done, man. I already know what to do, and I've got the meaning makers make it. Yes, absolutely. And I start thinking that, man, my own. Hey, look, I understand today that I am my worst enemy. My stinking thinking is what got me there. Absolutely. And what can get me there again. Because I'm only one hit, one drink, one whatever away from destruction. Absolutely. Total destruction. I shared the other meeting, and I think you were there when I went to the the Snoop the Snoop Dogg concert, man. Believe it or not, we've been talking about it for 3 weeks already, and I've been the hairs have been coming up on people, and they've been sharing some shit too. They're getting honest, right? They've been talking about, well, I went to a Cat Williams concert, and I kind of was thinking like that too, right? Remember? Yeah. And to me, you know, it's after that. So I shared that and talking about it and putting it out there, man, it really helps, because then you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not the only one that thinks that way. And I can go to, maybe I shouldn't go to another one. You know what I mean? Because maybe at that time I could be weak. I could be going through some shit and go, you know what? Screw it. Yeah. One bad day. So. Yeah. So, you know, the next time my wife wants to go to a Snoop concert, I probably won't go. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I'm down. But
I don't know why, but it sounds like it was your idea in the first place.
It kind of was. Well, I didn't think talking about Snoop Dogg. I thought it was an impersonator. You know, you have these you know, Led Zeppelin, that it's not really Led Zeppelin.
Cover bands.
The cover bands, yeah. And I was like, you know, it's not even going to be Snoop Dogg, but it was him.
Bought tickets thinking it wasn't going to be the real him.
I didn't know it was going to be right, because I wanted to find out, right, and I went and I got close to him, and I was like, well, that's real weed he's smoking too, you know. And then and then I looked up, and that is him, Snoop Dogg, and he's Snoopalicious or something like that. The DJ. Know. But he tours anyway. Long story short, we're not talking about it, glamoring that stuff, but we've been talking about that, and I'm glad that we talk about that, because other people are able to share about thoughts and opinions about. I mean, because we're clean, but we're living life. Yeah. And we're making these decisions. We're making these decisions that we can go, well, you know what? Maybe next time I shouldn't go, or maybe I shouldn't, because you know, I don't know about you, Jen, and here, and I know that you've got how much time do you have clean?
21 months.
21 months, man. You're going on 2 years, man. Yes. That is amazing. Yes. Amazing. Rock Congratulations. We've got so yes. Another applause. So so it's going on 2 years, man. That is one day clean is amazing, man. Can you imagine 2 years? Can you imagine? I'm going to tell you something, man. Think about 5 years. Think about 6 years.
What about you?
Well, what about me?
10 years.
10 years, man. It's been a long time. Yeah. I get no claps. I get no claps. I'm going on 11 years. Yes, this year, 11, God willing, man. 11 years. I've done some, and I'm getting back on track. I'm charging my batteries up, like I said, or you said earlier. You've seen me more in the meetings. Why? Yes. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been having some thoughts. Snoop Dogg is one of the son of bitches that got me. Yeah, that's one that. So I'm doing what I was taught. You know, and also too, you know, my wife's been getting me out of she's kind of been getting on my nerves. And the redhead, you know, she's I'm sure I get on her nerves too. I'm not the most whatever easy guy to live with. You know, I'm a charming guy. I'm a very charming guy, but not very good to live with. Not the easiest guy to live with, and I'm sure. So, but this thing is about me, not her. It's all about me. But I go to the meetings and I talk about. I remember I'm going to change this up. I'm on the subject, but when I was on probation, check this out. I'm a probation officer. We became pretty good friends, and she's really good about. She was like, she had some kind of degree in psych. She must have had a degree in psychology or something, because she was really good with her brain. So I remember, man, Lisa and I were getting into it, and I called. I said, you know what? My sponsor had passed away. I had no sponsor. This is, I'm talking about 7 years ago. Right. And at least and I called the probation line. Right. And I was like, Miss Andrews or Miss blah, blah, blah. Right. I'm going to say the name. Sorry. So, so I was on hold and I'm mad. Right. I'm steaming. I mean, Lisa pissed me off. And she goes, hey, this is such. I was like, listen, man, I'm going to strangle this bitch. I had nobody else to call. Yeah. She goes, Cruz. I was like, yes. Yeah, I'm going to strangle this bitch, man. She goes, no, you're not. I said, no, yes, I am. She's like, you're on a recorded line. No, you're not, are you? I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm like, but anyway.
Well, that's why I think it's really important.
Like, it's very important to talk to people, man.
Like,
it's
I could have
very
never
important.
got this far without my village of people. And that's another thing they teach you in drug court, which I didn't understand in the beginning, but I do now. Like, you have to have your village of people. I have to have my sponsor. I got my home NA group. I got my drug court friends. I still have friends from rehab. I've got my family, but it takes a.
So what about your old friends, Jen? Let me tell me about. Did you change the people, places, and things? You changed the places. You changed the. We haven't heard about the people. Have you changed the people?
Yeah. People, man. That's where I really got into my downfall in 2019.
Because I think that's what you shared earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Me and my husband separated in 2017. So me and my sons moved back home with my parents. And I've been on my own since I was 17. So at 41 years old,
you've been on your own since 17?
Yeah, I moved out at 17. So
never looked back, never went back or nothing. So you've been financially responsible for yourself since 17.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of pressure.
So when I moved back home and took my teenage boys with me, and then my husband, he moved back to his families. I think the idea was it was time for us to get our shit together. Right. We had destroyed our marriage. I mean, all kinds of trauma had happened. So we were at a point to where like, it's time to go home and get our shit together. Kudos to my husband, because that's what he did. He went home and it took him about 6 months, but with his family support and everything, he was able to really pull through. Me? Oh, hell no. I move home to my parents and I'm just like, what? Freedom? I got my mom and dad to take care of my sons. And next thing you know, I'm out running the streets and I'm hanging around these younger guys. My brother's friends, which sorry, brother. I'm still working on that with my brother. But anyway,
you're still trying to work that out with him.
Yeah. He's like top of my amends, trust me. But anyway, even when he told me not to, that's the thing. I started hanging around these younger guys and, looking for acceptance, looking for love in all the wrong places, and in 2019 is when I was introduced to Oxy. So here I am taking pills, drinking, smoking weed, normal addict shit. So I thought, and I started, and I was still doing meth off and on, but I got introduced to Oxy. Well, it wasn't a few months after that what happens when there's no more Oxy and you're an opiate user. Right. You automatically go to the next best thing, which I hate even saying it, still embarrasses me, but that's heroin. So in 2019, that was my downfall. I had 8 encounters with the police that year. I picked up 3 felonies. I went to county jail 4 times. 2019 was an absolute freaking nightmare for me. And but
was it a nightmare because of your own bringings or because of somebody else's?
Absolutely, my own bringings. All the bad choices I was making. I was just running the streets, like my husband says, a callejera.
Callejera.
Callejera. That's exactly what he would tell me. He was just waiting on me to get out of that stage already. But instead of getting better, I got worse. I started doing more drugs. I started doing different drugs. And I was getting pulled over all the time. Of course, it was always everybody else's fault. But, that was really my downfall. I got put on probation at the end of 2019. And like within 1 month, I fucked that up. Like I was failed UA. I mean, just within a month, I defaulted. Oh yeah, I got another felony. So that's where they threw me in jail for the 3 months. And instead of revoking my probation, which is what the judge.
So how many of your friends came to visit you while you were in jail?
No, God, that's when you learn who your real friends are. Yeah.
Did you really learn then, or later on?
The only person who actually wrote me was my husband.
Really?
Yeah.
That should tell you something.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. He's been like a huge supporter for me through this. Recovery has really given us a gift of rebuilding our relationship. Like,
it has to start slow.
Respect level is just completely different now. So
You gotta rebuild, man. That rebuilding stage is really awesome to go slow
and it takes time.
It takes a lot.
Right.
Well, we spend a lot of time, Jen. We spend a lot of time tearing shit up, and then it's gonna take. I mean, now me with my relationship with my ex-wife, we try. I thought I was gonna fix things, but I think she had a different idea, and I wasn't sure. And I'm going to tell you something. We divorced. Actually, she divorced me while I was incarcerated, while I was sitting in jail.
Wow.
No, that sucked. But I mean, it sucked what I put her through.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's something you had to go through.
Lose the home, and she had to move with the children. See, we don't think about all that bullshit we put people through. From the result of our addiction, we don't think about when sitting in jail. I'm like, this fucking bitch. She's divorcing me in jail. Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking, man, I can't believe she's doing all this shit to me. And I don't think about what, because when I hear people sharing about what their wife does when they're sitting in jail, divorce them or whatever, like my story, I'm going, dude, you don't get it. Just wait a minute. It'll more will be revealed, as they say, right?
Yeah,
hey, listen, you don't see, are you a woman out there or you man out there? You're, in my case, my ex or my woman at the time, struggling with my daughters, to school, sick, food, working, blah, 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 all this stuff. There's that blah, blah, blah part again. And we don't see all that. All we see, we're still sick. We're still acting selfishly. Oh, poor me, right? After all the shit that we did. And then, so today, man, and I know, again, this isn't about me. This is you, our guest. But, I'm so grateful to my ex-wife today. We've become friends, and she's forgave me. And I did a amends with her and let her know that early on and stuff like that. And we became good friends. Our marriage was over, but our friendship continued. So I was able to rebuild that. So it's always hope.
And I think that's how it started out. I mean, especially with me and my husband, like it was absolutely a friendship.
Yeah.
We were both there for each other through it all. I mean, he had to sit back and just watch me make all these bad decisions. He had to.
That's hard.
It really was, I think, really hard on him to see me go through that because what could he do? What can you do when somebody you love is in their addiction? You can't, if they're not ready, they're not ready.
Yeah. Right.
And we all know that. They have to hit their rock bottom. I hate to throw her name out there, but like I remember Evie telling me, because she was my sponsor for 18 months, and she taught me how to live life on life's terms. And I can always hear her voice in my head telling me things all the time, but one of the things sticks with me is that who am I to interfere with somebody else's rock bottom? Say that again. Who are we to interfere with somebody else? Why do you say that? Because I am everybody's savior. I love to save the world. I will take projects.
So what were you trying to do? Well, what have you done to be somebody? What was that phrase you said just now? Because I'm going to tell you something about that. Tell me, what was that phrase you said again?
Yeah. Who are we to interfere with somebody else's rock bottom?
You know who told me that?
Who told you?
Andre.
Oh God,
Andre, but he said it a different way. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. A recovering addict friend of ours that we know, I won't mention any name, but he's eating a hamburger. When he went to jail, before he went to jail, he went crazy doing all kinds of shit. He was doing this and he was blah blah blah, this, that, and the other, and I was going behind him, paying people off. You know what I mean? Paying things that he was doing and he, blah. And then I reached out to, I don't remember if it was Andre. I think Andre was on. He made me very mad at the time, because I still wasn't, anyway, I wasn't, I didn't want to hear it. He mentioned something that somebody had told him because I wanted to, hey, we need to do this for this guy and blah, blah, blah. And somebody says, and I think it was him. He says, who are we? And I think he was using himself to take away somebody, to keep someone from their pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We all
who am I to keep you from your pain? Because the pain, I'm going to tell you, for many years, Jen, pain and suffering is what motivated my recovery.
Absolutely.
But not anymore.
And everybody's rock bottom is different.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's where they talk about loving from a distance,
Yeah.
Like our families had to do with us. Like it got to a point to where they couldn't help. They had to let me make my mistakes.
Yeah.
Same thing with drug court. They had to let me make my mistakes till I finally hit my rock bottom.
Yeah. So who were you
save
trying to
lives.
save? I mean, not who you were trying to save.
Well, I mean,
How were
just
you
like-
trying to save someone? What were you
just
trying
like,
to do in
I'm
trying to
just
save
like-
someone?
Okay.
Not you don't have to mention any names,
No,
but
it's
how were
okay.
you trying to save someone?
Codependency is a huge thing for me, and like in my past, I've been known to like take on projects when people are having problems. Like even now, like when somebody's in their addiction, like a part of me wants to reach out to them and save them. And you know what I mean? I have a few people in my life that are struggling, and I just want to be like, I'm going to come pick you up. I'm going to take you to a meeting, and I just want to preach our recovery.
Do you think that's the woman
people.
in you? Because I mean, women seem to be more, and I'm not trying to be what do you call the word? Men and women separated thing, but what is the word, Raul? What is the word?
Sexist.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be sexist, but or starting any kind of wave like that. But women tend to be more caring, more nurturing. We know this,
have to be
right?
careful, because being caring and being nurturing, what that'll do is you'll take away from yourself. I have this habit of taking people under my wing, thinking I can fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have learned.
What is it? Isn't that what y'all do for us? Lisa said that about me when we first met. She goes, I can say the approach Lisa when Lisa and I started dating one of our friends, and you might even know her. I won't say her name. I really won't say her name this time, but yeah. They pulled Lisa aside. They're like, hey, Lisa, look, man, I'm going to tell you something about this guy, Ricky. And that she told me, she's like, listen, man, he's got a lot of rocks in his bag, man. He got, you're in for a little. She was like, don't worry about it. I can fix him. She told him that. She told him that. I can fix him. That's what she told him.
You have to be careful, especially like with addicts. It's easier to fix somebody else's shit. And for so long, I think that's why I hung around the people I did, because they were a freaking mess. You know what I mean? They were a mess. And it was easier for me to focus on their shit. And, I try to fix people than it is to look at our own self.
Right.
It's like sometimes you got to stop and ask yourself, why am I so worried about fixing this person?
Mm-hmm.
What are we?
Is it one of those things
inside?
like I can tell you what to do, but I don't want to do it? Is it like that or something else?
It's more or less, I'm going to tell you what to do, so I don't have to take the time out to look at the bullshit I'm doing.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Let me just stay busy with your shit, because I don't even want to mess with my own
Ernesto,
self.
we're going to take some questions from our audience. Ernesto, Raul, read it.
Ernesto wants to know what's next for you, Jen.
How does the still suffering addict get help? What's next for me? Like right now, I'm just working on, I'm getting more involved with my home group. I've been, getting on subcommittee. I'm getting involved with group conscience. I don't know what's next for me right now. I'm just working. I'm going to stay with my program. I'm just going to keep doing every day what I'm doing now, just as if I was still in drug court. I'm still making my meetings. I'm still doing my step work, talking to my sponsor.
Do you have sponsees? Do you sponsor?
No, not
Yo,
yet.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let's fix it, right?
Put the brakes on there, man. No, man. We ain't having that shit. What's up?
But I know my
Don't
sponsor,
ask me the same question.
My sponsor now, she is super excited
about
to
what?
get me to the point to where I can sponsor others, because she knows that how I am about.
So is sponsoring in your horizon? Ernesto asked that question.
I think sponsoring is absolutely in my
Jessica
horizon.
says, just do the next right thing.
Yeah,
she says.
That's my goal in life. Literally, is to wake up every day, to show up and just try to do the next right thing. We're not perfect.
No, we're
but
not.
by any means, I am in a position in my life. I know right from wrong.
Right.
So it's like the drugs are no longer a bullshit excuse to
I'm going to ask you
right from wrong.
I'm going to ask you this question, okay? And I think I've asked most of our what do you call it? Invitees, or how do you say it?
Guests.
Our guests, right? Thank you, Mr. Engineer Raul Moreno. Have I talked about the coffee yet? The mics? Yes, I have. Okay, I'm going to tell you my opinion on it next week. But look, man, I'm going to ask you this question, Jen, and this is a serious question, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to answer it honestly.
All right.
Okay. You walk, if today, Jen, that if you were introduced, if somebody came to you with the drug of your choice, the drug that you like, that you love, that what brought you over, what made you feel great. If somebody came and told you, Jen, listen, man, I'm such and such to the other, and I have the power of all of this universe or whatever, and I'm going to give you a free pass. You can do the drug of your choice with no repercussions. Nothing's going to go wrong. Everything's going to be, nothing bad is going to happen. Nothing bad. thing. Nothing bad is going to happen. All the bullshit that would happen when you used this drug before, none of that. I'm going to give you a free pass. Would you?
Well, first of all, everything about drugs is a lie. So I would know that he or she is full of shit. Second of all, no, I don't think I would. When I think about the hard work I have put into getting to where I'm at today, I'm like, hell no, I'm not starting this over. No, I don't have another relapse in me. For me, if I use again, I think I'm going to die. I think I'm going to die. And, the drugs that are on the streets these days are so dangerous. I mean, the judge could vouch for that. He in court many a times he will let us know about.
Okay,
stuff
but you're
that's
not.
been
But you're not
tested.
going to die. You're not going to have any repercussions. There's nothing. Nobody's going to nothing.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so. This is another way I look at it. I've been there. I've done that. I know what it feels like. I have been clubbing my whole life. I've done every drug in the world. I have experienced the fast life. I've done all that. I know what it feels like. I feel like I don't need to know.
I like what you said first. I've worked so hard.
That was the best,
man. That was the best answer,
Because,
man.
I mean, girl, who wants to start
I
this
worked
shit
so hard,
over again?
right,
I mean, think about your first
You put a lot of work into it, man.
sober. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, your first year sober is so hard. The whole getting to know yourself. I remember having to learn how to cook. I remember having to learn how to clean house. I mean, I was horrified to even leave my house like the first year of my sobriety. I was literally petrified of things stressing me out. I was afraid I didn't even know how to do anything anymore without the drugs. I had to relearn everything. And thank God for Evie, because she really is the one that was getting me out going to
Is she
different
still your
meetings.
sponsor?
No, she's not. But
Yeah.
she will forever be a part of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, my sponsor now is actually my counselor in rehab. So, I've
awesome.
had the pleasure of working with two beautiful, beautiful, amazing, strong women. I mean, just two of the best women in the world. And they have taught me so much and built me up to this woman that I am today. And, they've taught me recovery. They've taught me how to live life on life's terms. And it helps to have somebody guide you through that because, man, you don't know how to do that shit when you get clean.
So what's next for Jen?
I don't know. What do you recommend?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't got that far. For
No,
me,
that's okay. It's okay not to know, man.
For me, just to do the next right thing. That's most important to me. But what's next for me is just to keep going and doing the same thing I've been doing. Because, that's what's keeping me clean.
Right.
Literally taking everything one day at a time. Spending my Saturdays with my sponsor, doing my step work, making my meetings with my girls. I'm trying to go to more recovery events. Naomi and her man, they've been wanting to do more and more. So with our meetings, and I'm trying to I want to go to the bonfire this Saturday in Texas City.
We
I've
have all
never
these
been
events.
before.
You've never been?
No, and I hear it's so amazing.
It is. It's
They
pretty
have
cool. I've been to
speakers.
one.
Yeah,
I've been to one and I haven't, but I've been to one, and this is really cool event. Yeah. And there's other things too. There's going on this weekend, right?
There's all kinds of stuff coming up. So for me, I just want to be more involved with doing things with the people I feel the most comfortable with.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel the most comfortable with my friends who are in recovery. They understand
that's key,
me.
man.
That's key.
Yeah,
That's absolutely key. So.
Yeah. So what do you think, Mr. Engineer?
Man, there's a lot going on here,
man. Give us some.
Oh my God.
We got to read some of these comments
ahead, man. Read
because
some.
I want Jen to
ahead.
know who's liking and commenting.
Oh my God. Oh, love you, Larry Montez. Marty, my rehab friend.
Oh yeah, she's
My best
getting clean with you.
friend.
You already said you can't have three best friends,
No,
Jen.
Chelsea is my
All right.
best friend.
You
My
can't
husband.
have three Jen.
That's
best
your
friends.
husband?
He's freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
My sissy. Yes.
You say best friend with a different name again, Jen, and there's gonna be
No,
trouble.
I do have a lot of best friends, but Chelsea is my best friend.
And women say that, my BFFs, right?
Brookside.
You got a few
I know.
Brooksides.
We're in
A
Brookside
bunch
right
of
now.
Brooksides. Bunch of Brooksides.
Oh, thank you, Marty.
So read some of these comments.
I love you, Liza.
Oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I should. I'm
you
sorry.
should, yeah.
Because of the.
Oh, they can't see him?
No, well, they can see them, but
Yeah.
once we do the audio
There's
version,
Lisa. What's up, Lisa? She
She
got a new
says-
car. She's rolling a Mercedes Benz, oh Lisa. right?
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
What's up, Lisa? Nice car. That's
Nicole.
what we get in recovery, man.
Yep. Yep.
It was cool. I saw
Nicole,
that earlier.
she gave you another Brookside.
Oh,
Bro, what's up,
Nicole.
Brookside in the house? We got a lot of
Hello,
Brookside in here, man.
You got
Yes.
Larry.
Brookside.
Larry.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Brookside
so-
always. What are they?
Oh, look at all these Gonzaleses.
Right
I'm so
on.
loved.
You are. Absolutely.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
Lisa, hey mama.
Lisa, hi, baby girl.
Eloy, don't mention
don't
the
mention
word.
the word addiction. Don't never mention. That's a song, Eloy.
Ernesto,
Oh, I
share
love
that
Ernesto.
recovery, Jen.
Yes,
He's proud of you.
Yeah. Okay.
Gabriel,
Oh, my
let's
son.
go.
Go
I love you,
Astros.
Mom.
Who
Baby
said
boy.
go Astros? Who said
I love
go
you, son.
Nobody. That's your son?
Yep.
Yeah, all
baby,
right.
yes.
He must be very proud, man.
Yes.
Very
Amy
proud.
said, hey, Jen.
Hi, Amy.
Amy, what's up? Thank you for joining
Yes.
us. You're
She's so
Thank
proud of you.
All right.
Aunt Velma.
She's your
Hi,
tia?
sweetie. Yes.
She used to work with my mom, Velma. They worked at Continental. Ask her.
Everybody knows Velma.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Continental.
Thanks, sister.
Marsha, she's your sister?
My sister.
Look, there was John. Hey,
John.
Mayor John, man. We he's from my group, man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a mayor. He's a
Awesome.
mayor of a town in New York.
Well, thanks, Mayor
Yeah.
John, for watching.
Mayor John was previously
Oh.
Plumber John.
Hi, Megan. Thanks for making it.
Megan said, I love that term, mental relapse. It's so
Yes.
Yeah,
important.
that's the first one for me. Yeah, I think I
Yes,
mentally
so You got to
recognize.
recognize those signs early on.
Yeah, I
so
think I
that-
was mentally
yeah.
relapsing at the Snoop Dogg concert.
Well, definitely
Yeah.
set it in because you
I-
had to talk about it for a few
I,
weeks now.
I brought it
so-
up 3 weeks and everybody's talking about it since.
Megan said, hell yeah, we've been mad at
We all been
Pat
mad
We
at
all
Pat
been mad at the
Sebastian.
poor Matt Sebastian. Hey, has anybody sent him a freaking Christmas card by any chance on Christmas?
Hey,
We
you
all
should
mad
see
at
the
him, but
Christmas card
nobody.
He made for all of us.
Oh,
got
he
the
made you a Christmas card?
There was about 200 of us, I think, and we
Uh-huh.
all got outside the courthouse and took this awesome Christmas card of the drug court family.
Really?
He had people in drug
That's
court,
really
people in
sweet,
after.
man.
He had people who graduated with a lot of clean time.
Hey, there's a email for anybody watching for
it's a trick, Jen.
yeah, it's a what? It's a
It's
trick.
a trick,
Yeah.
Jen. Joe, just watching.
There's our website on the bottom for support from the big house to the penthouse, and everybody is in a
Oh,
position to they feel
I
like
love my
using if they're in
sponsor.
recovery and they want to use, they feel like using, or if they're just in a mental bad spot, man, email us. We do respond. Okay,
This is a
I've had
super dope
some people
podcast.
with
This is a super dope podcast.
It is,
Megan
man.
said.
Every
we do,
Wednesday.
man.
Every Wednesday at 7.
Absolutely, every Wednesday 7:00.
Oh my gosh.
You have a lot of support, Jen. You have
You
a lot of
do.
people
I-
love you,
Yeah,
man.
I wanted to make
Oh
sure
my
you
goodness,
saw.
yeah.
Look at my son said probation on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on.
They know all
All
these
right.
little quotes I come home with.
All right.
I can say for sure we do need it because I was clean almost 5 years on probational time, made it 4 months clean off drug court. Thought I was ready. Yeah. It's all right, Megan. We still love you. Your time's coming, sweetie. Oh, I love you, Naomi.
Naomi said, love you, Jen.
Yes.
We met Pat.
Another saying,
Sebastian.
meeting makers make it. I swear I go
Right.
home with all these sayings. My boys probably have a book of them.
Amy, I finally realized how much I need these meetings.
Yeah.
Um,
She goes to a lot of meetings too.
Yeah.
you said-
Evie's her sponsor too.
Ah.
So she is just like flying with her recovery. Super
All
proud of
right.
her. My God, look at all this. I'm
There's-
like
there's
so
so many.
overwhelmed.
Brenda, there's
Oh, wait.
Brenda B. What'd she say?
She
What
said,
did Brenda-
hey, the 5th edition of the big book needs people to send in their story. Deadline is October 22nd.
Oh, she's saying for me to do that?
She said anyone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
the big book needs what?
The big book, the 5th edition of the big book
Oh
needs
my
people to
God,
send in
that
their
would be
story.
Amazing. Oh
yeah.
my God. And I want to say hi to Preston, my other son. Keep it all the pretty hearts.
Oh yeah.
I love you, sweetie.
What's up, Preston?
What's
You
up?
have a
What's
fabulous
up
mom here,
from
man.
you?
She's doing the
Oh,
deal.
I'm
She's
doing
the
the deal.
deal, man. She's doing the good deal this time.
Oh,
No more bad deals.
I love him. Oh my
No
God.
more bad deals. Just good deals. All right, man.
Bro says he loves you. Great job. Mom would be proud.
Oh, yes. Awesome. My sister-in-law.
Gloria, super proud of
Gigi,
you, Jen.
Oh, wasn't expecting her to be on. Hello.
Who said you owe me $5? Who was that?
So I was
You owe me
$35.
$5.
Hey, I'm on. Let me
Hey,
see.
where
I
my
got
$5,
15
man?
bucks.
Where my five- you need to do a you forgot one of your what do you call it? One of your amends. Yeah. They're trying to collect on it. But yeah, who else we got on there?
Mom says she loves you, Jen.
Right,
She's very proud of you.
Yes.
God,
I don't even know what to say. All this is
I wanted to make
so
sure you saw
overwhelming.
this because I mean, this is your support right here. All these people had nothing but amazing things to say, and you know that's gotta make you feel some type of way.
Yeah, it does. Just on the way over, I was getting all these text messages and messenger messages for people telling me good luck, and I already felt the support and the love just on the way over here.
That's awesome.
So,
That's
good.
Yeah, we're glad you came on and shared your story.
Yes, I'm glad y'all had me.
You definitely need to come back one day down the road and we talk about you hitting your 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It'd be an honor.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're at 22 months?
21.
21. All right.
Yes, and Saturday I'll be presenting my best friend with her 2-year coin. So, if you want to come by,
absolutely.
When is
it? This Friday?
Yep,
yeah, Andre gets picks up too, right? Andre has a birthday.
Oh, really?
He does. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be packed.
Yeah, we'll bring him.
God.
Yeah, we need
to
get there
have
early.
A big cake. That's
bring
all
a freaking cake. Bring a cake. When I got my first year, and we're gonna wrap this up, but when I got 1 year, man, I was like, okay, this birthday night, there's gonna be cake. There's gonna be, I wanted balloons. I thought it was like it's gonna be a big old thing. No freaking no. Now Rachel got me a pineapple upside down cake, man. I remember that on my first birthday. A lot of people wrote a bunch of stuff on that thing. But look, man, let's wrap this up. Yes. Jen, thank you for coming.
Yeah,
definitely. Mr. Engineer. I don't know why I call you engineer.
I don't know. Thank you for coming on the show. Yeah.
Yes,
hey, guys, if you missed it, be sure to like and share and follow us. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. We also have it on YouTube. It's subscribe. Tell your friends. And Eloy wants to know fajitas for Cinco de Mayo.
You damn straight.
Hi, Jean. I see you, girl.
Yeah. Jean says she's proud of you, Jen.
Yes.
Right on.
Hey, with that
being said,
thank
man,
you guys.
Hey, thank you for joining us, everybody. Thank you for all the support, Jen. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Finally, that you talked to you. Thank you for putting your word in with your assistant and penciling us in. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story and your journey and all these wonderful things with us, man. And you also gave me a couple of things to think about. Thank you for bringing that. And we really appreciate you coming. And we're very we're honored that you're here. And we really your story is very inspiring, man.
Thank you.
Very inspiring. You're doing the deal, man. You are doing the deal, baby. And we're so proud of you, man. And we're behind you all the way.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. With that, we'll close. Mr. Engineer, Raul Moreno.
Say it.
Hey, say it, Ricky.
Well, you say it.
No, y'all say it together.
Yeah, we'll say it together. Right. What is it?
The lie is dead.
The lie is dead. Why, Jen?
We do recover.
We do recover. Right on. Where's the chingada?